Yes, big up, people. We are back. 12 man's back. Let's talk ball. Got myself. We've got Jamie. We've got Hooks. All in the house. We should have Winter Surfer joining us pretty soon as well. Big up to every single one of you. Big up to Jacob and Staffy. You should be able. Of course, it's Thanksgiving, so they are out celebrating with families. Say out with family, in probably with families. So big up to them, and I hope they have a great day, of course. Look, thank you all for being here. I appreciate it. Thanks for the redirect to Hooks. Thanks also to Lee as well. And big up to all of you guys for being here. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you hit subscribe. Make sure you're following both these guys, Jamie Phillips and, of course, Halftime Hooks as well. Go sub to them. Show them some love. Make sure you show Manscaped some love as well. 20% off for Christmas at the moment using FTM20. So make sure you go do that. There's a link in the description. And big up to everybody that showed the love and appreciation for myself and Rory today, and of course the Arsenal roundabout last night. Make sure you go check out both of those shows. We're going to be talking Liverpool, we're going to be talking Arsenal, we're going to be talking Manchester City, because this weekend is huge. We're also going to touch on Europe, Champions League. The league table is looking very good as far as Liverpool are concerned right now, both European League table and the Premiership. So that's where we're going to start. My goodness, Liverpool are serious, Jay. They must be taken serious. They must be respected. Arne Slot deserves an enormous amount of praise. And I think it's time for everyone to respect Liverpool, but certainly people to change their opinions on Liverpool being serious this season. Because I understood to start with that perhaps you wanted to take a look at what they were like against Chelsea and what they were like against United and Arsenal and Real Madrid. I think you've proven that now, and the test is passed. You've got a big game. In fact, it's a massive game at the weekend. How are you feeling after coming off the back of a result against Real Madrid that, let's be real, was fairly convincing from what I saw, bruv?
Yeah, the game last night. We've played Real Madrid so much in Europe in the last few years, and they keep getting the best of us. So to win last night was like that curse had been lifted. You know, we always get back. We always seem to actually play pretty decent against them, but still lose. And I think that's like most teams in Europe, to be fair. But yeah, getting that win last night, the way we played, I think even the first half, I thought the first half was actually a really decent game of football, even at 0-0 from both sides. I think they showed a lot of passion, energy, both teams did. But in the second half, I think Liverpool just completely swallowed Real Madrid up. But I don't think Real Madrid knew what to do. I think the crowd, you know, I know a lot of people make a lot about the Anfield crowd, and I do agree with some people, a lot of people at times, that Anfield can be quiet. But European nights, that stadium's different. that stadium's different, especially when you've got a team like Real Madrid you're playing. And I think the atmosphere, the way we played, I big up Lee Gunner as well. I think he said on his show yesterday that no team would have beaten Liverpool in that second half yesterday. You know, just the way we played, the way we moved the ball, the energy, the pace we did everything with. Big up Andrew. The pace we did everything with, the intensity that we played with. Yeah, it's hard for anyone to play against. And, you know, the way we played against, obviously, on the weekend against Southampton, where we've come back from 2-1 down, you know, to the Real Madrid game, it's such a night and day performances. But, yeah, I think that was the most Arne Slot performance we've had in a so far, because, you know, Slot has basically, you know, played the clock way almost all season so far with little tweaks defensively, and I think that was almost the most complete Arne Slot performance we've had this season. And hopefully that goes on against Man City on Sunday, which, you know, we'll probably talk about in a minute, but, you know, I can't wait for that. But the way we're playing right now, yeah, I didn't expect it. I knew Arne Slot was a decent coach when he came to Liverpool, and I was happy about his appointment. But I didn't expect how smooth this transition would be from Jurgen Klopp to Arne Slot. It's just, and I know our owners, they get criticised for a lot, and I criticise my owners for a lot because I don't think they're good enough. But I will give them the credit where it's due for the transition between Jurgen Klopp. That's for what he was to Liverpool over to Arne Slot right now. I've got to give him all the credit in the world.
I think that the biggest compliment I can give if I'm honest with you, bro, I've been praising Slot. It seems like every month I change a different compliment that I give him, right? And I just think some people, there was a lot of people that said, well, calm down, they haven't played anyone yet. And I kind of was fair, because to be honest, Liverpool should have beaten the teams they did, and they still did slip up against Forest that people forget. But I said, look, they've got a real test coming up. And if they get through the stage and get to the 3rd of December against that Everton Merseyside derby and you're top of the league, I'll say Liverpool's serious. I already think Liverpool is serious. I've seen enough to know that he has got 20, 15% out of all of those players that needed it. Gravenberch, Curtis Jones, Luis Diaz, Cody Gakpo, Darwin Nunez, Konate. They've all improved massively because of Arne Slot. He's relaxed, he's calm, he's cool, he's collected. He doesn't care. He sits there and walks his past Real Madrid and he's like, yeah, job done, move on. Just so emotionless. There's no like aggression or insane intensity that you got from Jurgen Klopp. There's none of that like up and down the touchline stuff, which people love the passion, right? He just cool, calm, goes about his business. I really like him, man. I've got to say it. I really like Arne Slot. I think he's a fantastic appointment so far. And look, there's still a long way to go and things can change in football and you've got to win something, right? But I think Liverpool are looking very, very good at the moment. And I look at the table at the moment. Wow. I mean, you're 9 points clear of us. You could go 11 points clear of City if you win. In the Champions League, you're pretty much through. Let's have it right. You're through now. And the last 8. So it's looking really good right now. And I don't know what you're saying, Hooks, but the Arsenal fans that were telling me and you, like, oh, calm down, it's early, relax, Liverpool ain't serious, they'll crumble, they'll fall off. It ain't really looking like it at the moment, Hooks.
And I mean, it just has to be our fan base, innit? Out of all the fan bases that could have possibly been like this idiotic, it had to be our fan base, innit? Like, I had to deal with it this morning as well. Oh, why are you glazing Liverpool? Oh, come January, Arsenal are gonna be better than Liverpool. They'll be above them. You'll see. And it's like, hey, maybe, but I don't have a crystal ball. Like, I can't see into the future. All I can do is judge what I'm seeing now, and what I'm seeing now is absolutely ridiculous. Like, Liverpool have only conceded 1 goal in the Champions League. They've played some big teams. They've even played the Invincibles from the German league last season. They've only conceded 1 goal. They've played Real Madrid. They've only conceded 1. They didn't even concede against Real Madrid. It's insane. They've played 5 games. They've won all 5 in the Champions League. They're in the Premier League, yeah. They've played 12, won 10. They're already in double-digit wins. Drawn 1, lost 1. Like, what more does Liverpool have to do before people, especially Arsenal fans, start going, all right, do you know what? Liverpool deserve their flowers. Because it's not like they're getting fluky wins. It's not even like the games are like super close, could go either way, and then Liverpool get like some lucky last-minute deflected goal or last-minute penalty or anything like that. Like, for large portions of games, they're actually just the better team, give or take. I mean, you could argue in the Arsenal game, maybe Arsenal were better for larger portions of the game, but we didn't do what we needed to do to ensure that we put them to bed. So they went, okay, you're not going to kill us off. All right, Arsenal, we'll come back. And they did. And I think that shows signs of a champion, right? Like, when the chips are down, you pull it back. Like, a lot of people are saying to me as well, it was Real Madrid C team. But I'm like, but isn't Real Madrid yeah, do you know what I mean? That, like, isn't Real Madrid the standard? Like, is like, I get told all the time, like, Real Madrid's the standard, like, they're the standard. So shouldn't they be applying their own standard? Like, it shouldn't matter if they don't have all that start. They still had Modric, Bellingham, Camavinga in the midfield. They had Valverde playing, be it as it may, right back. Like, they still had Courtois in goal. They still had Rudiger playing. Like, the Mbappe. Need I remind people, Mbappe, the person that everybody wanted in the summer transfer window, they beat a good Real Madrid team. Really good. And it baffled me when Arsenal fans say this, because Arda Güler was playing. A player that a lot of Arsenal fans want to come to Arsenal in January. So it is really astonishing, isn't it? But you have to take your hat off to what Liverpool are doing. You have to take your hat off to Arne Slot. Like, maybe you could have said, you know what, maybe he comes in and does good in the league in these first 12 games. Maybe you could have said that. Not a lot of people did, but maybe you could have said that. But I don't think anyone could have ever predicted 5 wins out of 5 in the Champions League considering the opposition that they had to face. So, yeah, and like I said before in this channel, I've said it on many others as well. The style of football that they're playing, I don't anticipate them falling off. Like, because it's not like they're going to tire out towards the latter part of the season. They're not even really exerting that much energy. So, yeah, man, Jamie, man, just enjoy it. That's what I can say, really. It's just enjoy it. Like, because who knows? It's football, right? Who knows what's going to happen 3-4 months down the line? Nobody knows what's going to happen. Anything could happen. But just talk about what's going on now. You know, we don't need to worry about later until later comes, right? So,
about now, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just about now. So, yeah, no, Liverpool, that's just, yeah, it really is fascinating. And yeah, just all the fans in Liverpool, it's like I said, just you have every right to, when you go to work, just wear your Liverpool top. When you go into the shop, just wear your Liverpool top.
Enjoy it. Yeah.
Enjoy it, man.
Like, I agree. And I think this is the thing as well, when people always said about teams you played and whatnot. And my response was always that I don't care who we're playing as long as I'm getting 3 points, because the points on the board is all that matters. And if you're winning, you're just building yourself. You're building momentum as the season goes on, and and if you do have a little slip eventually, you've hopefully got such a points gap that you can afford a little slip, but then go again. So yeah, it's about getting points on the board and building up your performances as you go through the season. We always used to say that against Man City, didn't we? That Man City under Pep usually always start pretty, not great in seasons. Then January comes and they go into a different gear and they just blitz sides. And yeah, I just feel like with Liverpool right now, what Hook said there, especially with the physical standpoint of it, the difference between the Jurgen Klopp side and this side is that Klopp was 100 miles an hour from the goalkeeper to the striker. Alisson was playing at 100 miles an hour, the right back, the left back, everyone was playing 100 miles an hour for 90 minutes because that's the way he played football. And that's why I think, Liverpool were one of the most watched teams in world football, because neutrals and people alike would watch Liverpool games because, mad stuff is going to happen. So it was exciting to watch. But with Slot, it's a bit more, let's just take 10 minutes out of the game, just pass it out the back. Let's just slow the game down a little bit. Let's just pause on what we're doing right now and, just bore it out for 10 minutes or so. And I think come the end of the season, I think Liverpool will be healthier for it. I've watched us, compete with Man City and Arsenal in the last few years. And like last year, Liverpool were doing really well last year as well. And then they fell out, from around March time last year, and they gassed out. Injuries caught up with us, and players' fitnesses and everything. They just got really tired and they couldn't finish off the season. But I feel like with Slot, the way we play, it's a lot slower paced, and it's about more ball possession through the midfield. Playing.
Sorry to interrupt you. Can I ask you as well? Liverpool, I've not really spoken to Liverpool fans about this yet, because Liverpool fans that I'd spoke to before ball was kicked were like, well, let's just see what we get. Now that you have seen what you've got, could you win more than just the Prem? Could you win the Champions League and the Prem? Do you know what I mean? Could you win two?
I want to win everything.
I know, yeah, of course. So do I.
I literally want to win everything. And the way I'm looking at it right now, I want to win I think we should win the Prem. I'm going to say it right. I'll say it with gesture. I know a lot of Liverpool fans don't want to say it because they don't want to get clipped up. Everyone's afraid of getting clipped up in these days, ain't they?
Yeah.
So, but why shouldn't I be, as a Liverpool fan right now, saying, yeah, we should be winning the Premier League? We've got a points gap over Man City and Arsenal that gives us that advantage where if we are bad for one game, we've still got a big points gap, even if we lose that game. That can keep us going. We haven't had arguably the best goalkeeper in the world in goal for most this season, and you wouldn't know because Kelleher's that good. Trent has been injured. You can see Conor Bradley come in like yesterday. Tremendous little right back himself. Our squad's a lot better than people thought it was, just because we haven't got, I think with Liverpool, we haven't got the names in our squad, maybe, like with the PR against them. So people don't think our squad's actually that good, but it's better than people give it credit for. And at this moment in time, Jota's been injured, but Darwin's come in, done really well. Yeah, the old adage is, if you lose Virgil and Salah at the same time, what happens? Well, yeah, If you lose two of your world-class players, I don't care what manager you are in the world, you're going to suffer. Do you know what I mean? Everyone does. Look at Pep right now. Everyone suffers. At Arsenal without Odegaard, everyone suffers if you miss your world-class players. It don't matter who you are.
Just on that part, because the only thing that I was going to say about Liverpool that could potentially be a bit scary is it's not even if Salah and Van Dijk go out. It's literally just if you lose Salah. Because Salah has a large percentage towards like your goal contributions. I think, So I think without Salah, well, obviously it doesn't trade one for one, right? Because if Salah wasn't there, then someone else would be playing, and maybe they contribute somehow. But he's got like 16 out of your 24 goals. Wait, something like
something like 67% of their goal contributions are through Mo Salah. Yeah.
So I would say that's the only like worry that I would say is that there's going to be parts in the season where maybe he can't play for whatever reason, or maybe he doesn't play to the level that he's been showing so far for whatever reason. And it's seeing at that point, like, how does Liverpool handle that? That's like the thing for me. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, he missed his penalty last night, which was shocking, but he didn't score like it. McAllister and Gakpo getting the goals last night. I mean, I think if Salah's missing for a short time, like 2 or 3 games, I think Liverpool can cope. I think Diaz will get goals. I think if Jota's available, he'll get goals. I think Darwin can cause enough trouble that he can make or score a goal. If McAllister can play further up the field, he could get into scoring situations. So for that amount of time, I think we'll be all right. If you're losing for a long period, of course, you're going to have a bit of an issue there and you've got to try and work it out. But at this moment in time, I just got to look at what's happening right now. Salah seems fit. The team seems fit.
Is Konate fit?
So Arne Slot said in his press conference today that he's hoping Bradley and Konate can both play on Sunday, but they're just waiting. He's waiting to hear a little bit more yet. But yeah, like Bradley's not too much of a worry because Trent is back. He said Trent's available to play on Sunday. So, but Konate's the one, man, because Konate and Virgil at the moment, arguably the best defensive combination in world football at this moment in time. So, I'm hoping he's okay. So yeah, fingers crossed for him. Big up, Staffy.
Big up to Staffy, man. Wasn't expecting to see you, so that's a nice surprise, my bro. Big up to you, man. And let me come to Surfer because this weekend is huge, my bro. Manchester City, Liverpool, at Anfield, Arsenal got West Ham. Let's just concentrate on those 3 teams for now because I know Chelsea, as a Chelsea fan, you'll be looking at yourselves as well. I wanted to come on them separately. So let's just stick with these 3 for now. Forget Arsenal for a minute. I'll give you a scenario. Liverpool beat Manchester City at the weekend. What does that mean for Liverpool and what does it mean for Man City? Forget Arsenal for the minute.
Well, I believe it. I'm a big believer in records, and even a fully fit City are not favourites going to Anfield given the record they've got there. So I think they've won like twice in like the past 20 years in the league there. And the last time was when Alisson just probably had his worst game in a Liverpool shirt of all time, But I mean, I think if we're all being honest, even the most ardent, stringent, I will never choose City to lose guy is not. I don't know if they think they'll even score there this weekend, let alone pick up anything there. They're not good defensively. They've got no midfield. It's run through. If you stop Haaland, which Liverpool usually do at Anfield, who's going to score? The wingers aren't scoring. There's something weird going on with De Bruyne. You know what I mean? He's been training he's training his butt off, but he only gets NBA trash minutes sometimes. Phil Foden is just ghosting throughout entire games. You're bringing Jack Grealish on to try and, Jack Grealish, free scoring Jack Grealish, are you kidding me? Trying to bring him on to, get some goals or even assists or something like that. It's just everyone's like shocked and we are all shocked because when we've never seen this before, City and Pep have never seen this before as well. So they're going into something new that they have never gone into before, even going away to Liverpool this weekend. I see Liverpool, if Liverpool don't come away with at least a 2-goal win, whether that's a 2-0 or a straight up 3-1 or something like that, and I'll be very, very shocked. I'll be shocked if City pick up a point this weekend. I think that this is ironic, Dan. If City pick up a point, that'll be one of the most shocking results this season. Given the way City are playing, it'll be like it will bust coupons throughout the land in England. It will be a coupon buster if City. I want to say, I bet Liverpool's odds get shorter and shorter up until the game this Sunday, because Man City are a complete. That game the other day wasn't Feyenoord coming back from 3-0. That was self-inflicted damage by City. That first goal from Vardiol, I have no idea what pass he's thinking of at all. Then Edison at the near post, what is that? And then he comes flying out like I don't know what, he was trying to head the ball or something like that. They are in total freefall at this moment in time. I mean, ironically, for 70 minutes the other night, they were in total control. Feyenoord weren't doing anything against them for 70-odd minutes. And just think about the pressure on Sunday, going to Anfield with the atmosphere, the fans will be up for it, because it is one of the games that the fans will be up for it during the league. You know what I mean? They will be up for it. And any pressure, any slight dodgy pass back or anything like that, Liverpool concedes on it. And their midfield, I'm telling you right now, they're going to dominate their midfield this Sunday, because City don't have a midfield. They've got Old Man Gundogan and Miko Lewis or Nunes or something like that in there. Do you know what I mean? It's going to be it's going to be a bloodbath, man. It's going to be an absolute bloodbath. But I think, can I be honest with you? I think Liverpool might do to City what they did to Man United at Old Trafford and take their foot off the pedal if they go like 2 or 3-0 up. I think they might just sit back and go. They might sit back and go. They're not going to offer anything. I have no idea how City are going to score against them if Haaland's kept quiet again. Where are the goals coming from? Set pieces.
That's a good point, man. It's a good point, because I don't know where I'm looking at. There's literally Haaland. That's it. There's Gvardiol scores their goals, or Kovacic, I think, is their highest top scorer other than Haaland. I mean, look, I've got to come to you, Staffy, because obviously this is a game that you look at as a United fan and hate both teams. But how do you see this one going, man, at Anfield?
Excuse me. First of all, thank you for having me. Apologies for being
Come on, man.
late. Yeah, it's Thanksgiving. I woke up a little bit later today. I had to get ready for my watch along, so I had to do a few things before I hop on here. United play later today, so
big
shout
up,
out to
bro.
you. Yeah, big up. But I agree with Surfer. Listen, I think let's not beat around the bush, okay? Just take the name Man City away for a second, and it's gonna make it easier for you to analyze this game. When you look at the way they've been playing, when you look at the players they've been fielding, when you look at the midfield, especially, like Surfer said, let's just be honest. If any of our teams, if Man United right now, since we're not doing well, so it's easy to put our name on this. Put that midfield of Gundogan, Rico Lewis, and who else plays in that midfield? Foden, Bernardo Silva, I don't know. You put that midfield in any other team that's not named Man City, and people won't take it seriously. I feel like the name Man City covers for it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's. I don't think. I always say football is much more simple than people make it out to seem. You look at the teams that they've been putting out, whether it's because of injuries or not, these are just not good teams. And it's finally caught up to them, the lack of investment that they had over the last few years, as I said. I tweeted the other day when Alvarez scored a goal for Atletico Madrid, that free kick. And I said, if this was Arsenal who sold him and they didn't and they're on this form, and their former player that they just sold scored a goal like that, they'd all be making fun of Arsenal. I think the same energy needs to be given to the City team. This City team, it's just I hardly recognize this team compared to the teams that they had that won the Premier League the last 4 seasons, compared to the team that won the treble just 2 seasons ago. Really take the name away, and this team is just a shell of what it used to be. Gundogan is just washed. People don't want to say it, but he's washed. A lot of people just don't think they're brave enough to say it. He had a great career, but he's washed. Rico Lewis, I understand Pep over the years has had a lot of great players come at the academy, and he's helped develop players. We've seen him do it at Barca. We've seen him do it at Bayern Munich. Rico Lewis is just an average player. He's just very average. He's not a bad player. He's just a very average player. And if he played for any other team, we wouldn't be bigging him up like that. And then he gets into every game week for City. Every team sheet, he's in there. Even their back line with the injuries that they have, that back line is just not good. Gvardiol, yes, he's probably been the best one. But even when you see him now, even when his form drops, look at that back line. That back line completely looks average. Akanji doesn't look good. Stones doesn't look good. Ake doesn't look good. Gavardio now hasn't been looking good. I don't know if Diaz is coming back anytime soon. This team is just simply not good enough. It's just so easy to tell. And if it wasn't, as I said, if it wasn't for the trophies that they won over the last few years, when you just assess this team for what they do right now in this season, and you take away the accolades of the last few seasons, people would talk about them a lot more honestly if they wanted to, but they don't want to because they keep attaching these trophies that they won in the last few years to them. So I expect them going to Liverpool, and I'm not gonna lie, I expect, like Surfer said, it's gonna be a bloodbath. It has to be. The way Liverpool are playing, Liverpool have been amazing. Slot has came in, and as much as I hate Liverpool, I did give Slot praise when he first got signed. And I said he could have a case to be signing of the season. I said we usually attach that title to players, but we never said about managers. And I was like, think about it. With the way Slot is, he could be the signing of the season. Because if he comes in and he does better with Klopp's team than Klopp did, so basically you gave him Klopp's tools and he's handling Klopp's tools better, then why? Why shouldn't you look at him like that? We always look at players being the impact of these teams. Look at this manager. And yesterday we've seen it. And throughout the whole season, we've seen it. This Liverpool team has absolutely caught a second life because of Slot. We all thought most of these players are done. We all thought that Salah's going to leave last year because there's nothing more to win in this Liverpool team. Without Van Dijk is gonna leave eventually. Trent is going to run out his contract. And look at them now. They're absolutely amazing, and I hate to see it because they're my rival. But as a football fan, I'm not gonna lie, I enjoy watching what Liverpool do. Like if I just put my bias away and the fact that I hate Liverpool, if I'm just watching pure football, it's enjoyable. They're winning in so many different ways. They dominate games. They sit back in games. They know when to give up the ball. They know when to dominate the ball. And against City, I'm going to be honest with you. Those scars that we've seen on Pep, we're going to see more. You know, that cut that he had his nose, we're going to see more cuts. Because I'm expecting an absolute massacre on the weekend. And I don't think there's anything City could do. Like, I would just be honest with you. There's no game plan right now that Pep can put. When's the game? Is it Saturday or Sunday?
Sunday.
Sunday. I thought.
So what does he have? He has like 3 days. There's nothing Pep can do in 3 days to put a game plan to not make him lose on Sunday. And I'll tell you that. If you're a betting guy, bet your house on Sunday. There's no chance the City team is leaving with a point. Unless something crazy happens where like, oh, a red card and an injury and a penalty. Like, you know, those anomalies that happen. When you're talking about in form and in paper and everything that we've seen, this City team stands no chance.
Yeah.
Absolutely no chance.
You know, it is with this City team as well, and you're right with everything you said there, Staffy. With this City team as well, I think they've gotten away with it, how bad their transfer windows have been the last 2 years. I literally think they've
been caught up to them.
It's caught up to them. They've let their players age as well without getting them out the door. You know, bringing back Gundogan in the summer when City rejected his contract terms the year before to bring him back tells me that was a Pep move. Pep wanted him. Yeah. And this is why I always say, I don't care how good you are as a manager, managers shouldn't be in charge of transfers. They just shouldn't be in charge, man. And their transfer windows, you know, do you remember how scary City used to be with their flying wingers that could create and score goals at the same time as well, and Aguero up front? And now you look at them, you keep Haaland quiet, you can win games of football against them now. And I think that's why a lot of teams now are having a go at City more than they've ever done before, because they feel like, you know, if we have a go at them, Savinho and Doku gonna hurt us that much on the counter attack. You know, their midfield, can we get around their midfield? And I was, especially when it was the Brighton game, when City brought on their subs, I think they brought on Bernardo Silva and De Bruyne. And as soon as they came on, they slowed the game down. And then I believe Brighton brought on, did they bring on Belieber and João Pedro? And they completely, they sped it up, were younger, more legs, aggressive, and they came back and won that game. So, yeah, City have definitely got problems. No, look, because they've been winning things for years now, no one says anything.
Yeah.
But I think their transfers the last 2 years have not been anywhere good enough, and they're letting their best. They've let a lot of their best players age now, which is something Liverpool and Klopp did. You know, that Henderson, Fabinho, we never replaced them. We just let them age, thinking they got another year. They got another year.
But it
And
used
then
to
the
get
end-
called out, Jamie, and this is why it pisses me off that people don't call it out with City. When you guys went head to head for like 4 seasons, and you guys were both at your absolute primes, everyone was talking about Liverpool potentially now reading a rebuild because they didn't reinvest while their players were aging. It started with like when Mane was aging. Well, Mane didn't really age, but Mane was leaving. Fabinho was aging.
Henderson,
What's his name? Wijnaldum was leaving. People said, "Oh, City don't do rebuilds because they know how to always invest as their best players are there. So they usually have the replacement 1 or 2 seasons before they start playing." And we've seen that over the years. Now that they're not doing that, and it's been specifically since the treble season, I always call that. It annoys me that no one wants to call it out because they used to be the standard. We praise them for doing great business for 10 years or so. So when they do bad business for 2 seasons, why are we not meant to call them out? Because they've been the standard. We all looked at them and we were like, this is how all our teams should be operating. Now you look at them, since they won the treble, sold Mahrez, sold what's his name? The other attacker. Alvarez. They've been selling players all over the place. Not to mention, by the way, they're youngsters. They're academy players. For so many years, we never said anything because we were like, you know what? They know how to invest. So they sell these young players so they can they can check green on the PSR or whatever at the end of every summer. So when you look at them now, look at the league right now. There's so many City academy products in the league that would help this team right now. The biggest one is Cole Palmer himself. Look at it. A year later, we're all talking about them needing attackers. But just a year ago, they sold them for 40 mil. Not to mention, there's so many players. What's his name? Delap.
Pedro Porro.
What's his name?
Pedro Porro. He was a Man City player.
Pedro Porro, who just scored against them. He played for their academy. What's his name? Your midfielder, Surfer. Lavia.
But the thing is, but the thing is that because my club get accused of it. I don't know why people don't recognise. Every club uses their academy the same way to get profit. That's what they're supposed to use your academy for. And only one. That's what we do over here. It's used for profit. It's used to build up our transfer funds to beat PSR. That's all academies are used for. And you might get one gem every like 20 years or something like that. Like Liverpool's youth policy. I mean, before Trent Alexander-Arnold bringing through youth was a joke. Do you know what I mean? Before Trent arrived, and even since Trent arrived, it's not been that much. Look at City; it's only really been Phil Foden, Palmer now because he's with us. But even with us, we've only, even United, like since your class of '92, and then maybe Rashford, and then the guy's now left to go to Marseille. We won't say his name, but it's like and Arsenal is just Saka, isn't it? It's just Saka. Do you know what I mean? It's like there's the youth. This whole England is where you won't get a lot of youth coming through. Every other country you'll get more youth coming through because of the way they don't spend a lot of money and stuff like that. Even Real Madrid's youth don't really come through that a lot. It's more Barcelona's youth that comes through. But we just use it as a means to build up and that's the big detriment of PSR, that we have to use it. But even before PSR rules, really, we still used it for profit. No one mentioned Cobham so many times for 2019 before he had a transfer ban. No Chelsea fan cared about Cobham. No real Arsenal fan goes, man, I can't wait for more people like Skelly to come through. No, if Alphonso Davies says he's going to choose to sign with Arsenal, everyone forget about Skelly in about 5 minutes. Do you know what I mean? It's just naturally one of those things. You get one gem through that everyone can connect to. That's our guy. But you know what? I'll tell you right now, if someone right now offered a Man City fan Florian Wirtz for Phil Foden, they'd be packing Phil Foden's bags faster than you can finish that sentence. Do you know what I mean? He'd be going. And tell you right now.
You make a good point.
Foden is a weird one, though, ain't he?
Yeah, what's happened to him?
He does have a lot of off seasons, though.
I agree.
I don't think he's continuously great season in, season out. I think he does have.
I wouldn't be willing to give up on him at all, but I agree with what you're saying because I don't think, other than last season, he has been consistent at all. If I'm honest with you, I think he's been very up and down, and he was so exceptional last season. I'm not saying he's a bad player, but I look at what Palmer's done with Chelsea, and I think he's carried them. I think that Saka has been carrying us for God knows how long. I look at what Bellingham's done at Real Madrid, and I look at Foden, and I think, yeah, you're the one I wouldn't start for England, and that sounds mad because he's just won Player of the Year, right? But I look at what Staffy said about Man City, Palmer. They need a winger because Mahrez hasn't been replaced. Morgan Rogers, killing it at Villa, was at City. He would walk into their midfield right now. Lavia, holding midfielder at Chelsea. I think he's an absolutely superb player. Would walk into Manchester City while Rodri's out. And then you've got Liam Delap at the moment. I know people laugh, but he'd be a brilliant backup to Haaland. And he was given to City, to Haaland, now to Ipswich. This is bad from
Man Pedro Porro, they're crying for a fullback.
They're crying for a wing back. This is crazy.
Pedro Porro would walk into the team right now, 1,000%.
But someone said it before, and I apologize who said it. The reason it's only been brought up now is because City keep winning titles. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying.
If this was a regular thing, this is the first big. This is the biggest. I don't like that C word, crisis. Okay, I'm not going to use it because a crisis in football is it's just an oxymoron to me. So this is his biggest problem he's ever had in his managerial career. Pep, he's never had anything like this before in his managerial career.
Adversity, Surfer, and it's showing.
Yeah, he doesn't know how. That's why he doesn't. That's why he doesn't know how to react. He doesn't know how to react. The Man City fans have not seen something like this probably since 2008. Probably or something like that when they lost 8-1 to Borough or something like that on the final day. They haven't seen anything like it since then, yeah? So no one knows how to react. So that's why you're getting this weird, like him scratching his head looking like he's trying to give himself a Harry Potter scar or something like that midweek. Or, or him coming out what he said afterwards. I won't repeat it because it's not good enough to repeat. But that's and now we're talking about players bringing in because you're right. The titles and the treble, especially last season, the title masked their business in the summer after the treble season. The title masked it, right? Because everyone goes, oh, well, they're out of the cup, that's fine, but they won the title. Even this season, everyone's celebrating, even their fans, they're celebrating, oh, we sold this much players and something like that. We brought Gundogan back, that will help. But I'm honestly looking at their squad right now. I think this is first teamers as well. I think they need like 5 to 6 first team players into this squad, let alone like squad members. Because I'm thinking you need at least probably I think Edison's going to go in the summer. So you probably talk about another goalkeeper coming in. You're right. You probably need another centre back, probably full backs, definite midfield, and at least one more attacking player. Do you know what I mean? They're in. Talk about a rebuild. They are going to have to rebuild, but their rebuild's going to cost about £500 million at the moment.
Not to mention that a couple of these players for about 2-3 years now, they've been trying to leave, and keeps convincing them to stay. Kyle Walker, remember Kyle Walker when he had to take him out to dinner to convince him to stay? I mean, he took him out on a dinner date, bought him flowers, bought him chocolate, rizzed him up a little bit, and he convinced him to stay now. Now he probably regrets doing that because he's absolutely trash right now. Edison, remember last in the summer when he didn't play preseason because they thought he was going to go to Saudi Arabia. I think he was going to Saudi Arabia. Even Bernardo Silva. How many years has Bernardo Silva been trying to go to Barcelona?
He's four.
And now look at him. These players all might leave now because most of them are actually getting washed because Bernardo Silva's starting to look a little bit washed.
Coasted it for a year.
100% washed.
John Stones and Ake keep getting injured as well.
Yeah.
John Stones and Ake. Their midfield is just Rodri. Kevin De Bruyne, I don't know what he's probably going to go to the MLS or Saudi Arabia in the summer or something like that. He's going to go. Their wingers, I mean, Savinho's been overplayed. That's why he's not playing well at this moment in time because they were going to play Oscar Bob or something like that. But even I think Oscar Bob's a great talent. But even asking him to step up and do something is probably too much. Do you know what I mean?
Do his ACL as well?
Doku is whatever Doku is, and Grealish is 30, guys. He's not 24, right? That people think he's 30, and people are still waiting for him to like.
he hasn't scored a goal in 2024. You know that Jack Grealish has not scored a goal in 2024.
He scored literally last December. He scored last December or something like that. But we talk about him.
I'm going in on some of my players. I'm looking at that like, wow, this is a poor record. And,
Jack Grealish
25 players they've got that are under 30. Everyone else is over 30.
But Staffy will know this. remember how United fans used to talk about Lingard when he got to like 20? He got to 28.
27, we were talking about him as a prospect. I'm like, bro, he's 27.
It's like, everyone keeps like putting like everyone like, oh, we have a Jack.
How they're doing
Grealish.
it with Rashford, though, by the way.
Yeah, he's
No,
30.
they
And we're
hate him,
still
man.
waiting for him to be the Jack Grealish from Villa. He's £100 million player, and Judge Mo says it right, but that pass back. He takes the ball and he just passes back. We're still waiting, and he's not even a goal scoring. He's not even a goal scoring threat either. Do you know what I mean? It's like the whole recruitment needs to be looked at. I
think Jack Grealish was better at Villa than he was at City, just because
totally better at Villa.
I think when he went to City, Pep systemizes you, don't he? He gets you in his system.
Yeah.
He takes that freedom away from you a little bit. But look, if Jack Grealish played for any of our teams at £100 million and was playing this poorly, it would get spoke about all the time. But because City win all the time, he never gets spoke about. But are we allowed to talk about Haaland? Because I know Haaland is an elite goal scorer at a level probably only Harry Kane and Lewandowski might be at in world football right now. And
I stand with Roy Keane.
But is he quite basic as a footballer?
Yes. I stand with Roy Keane. World class striker, League 2 player.
He is.
I feel like we always do that. Every time they play bad, we start mentioning how bad of a player he is. And when they play good and he scores goals, we just ignore it.
The thing is, I've never rated Haaland at that level. I've rated him as an elite goal scorer, but I just don't think he's a tremendous footballer. Like Harry Kane is a far better all-round footballer than Haaland is, right? And I'd rather have Harry Kane as my number 9 than Haaland, because if Harry Kane ain't scoring goals, he does stuff in the game. He doesn't just disappear. He would influence the game still in some kind of way. And I think City are suffering because of that. And when they sell Alvarez, who I think is a quality little player, that's as good backup striker as anything around, bringing off the bench here, and you don't replace him. I just find that madness. So you've got wingers that don't score or even create goals. You got a striker that, if you can keep him quiet, he's pretty anonymous for the whole game. No, I said this, he's going to score a hat trick Sunday.
That's what I was going to say.
And you keep him anonymous. He's quiet, and City are playing with 10 men. They've got a midfield now that haven't got the legs in it, so they can't defend without Rodri. Yeah, I think Pep's right.
Maybe what we're doing here is we're saying, because he has been poor the last few games, right? When Haaland don't score, Man City don't score. We've just said that Carvalho and bloody
to be fair, he's been missing a lot of chances too. So
he has been. Yeah, that's fair stuff. He has against Tottenham.
Like last game, who did they just lose to? Not the one in the Champions League where they drew. Who did they just lose to? Tottenham. That Tottenham game, he missed a lot of chances. It's not like the chances weren't there. He's actually been missing a lot of chances. So it's actually worse now, because at least, Jamie, your point is that when you're not creating for him, he's useless. No, they actually created for him, and he is missing. So he's more useless because he's missing.
The problem is because you don't have like a Mahrez or someone else in the team. It's more focused. It's more focused, isn't it? Because you could go. Well, Haaland's missed one. Oh yeah, but Mahrez is bagged 2 or something. You know why
it's so perfect that you mentioned Mahrez? Because remember 2 years ago they played the Spurs and they were losing, I think 1 or 2-0 at halftime. I think it was 2-0.
Yeah,
they brought on Mahrez and he scored a hat trick. Remember, it was the treble season.
Right
now, look at him now when they don't actually have that impact of the bench as well.
That's the problem.
It's generally embarrassing how bad this team's gotten. They sold Julian Alvarez for 85 million, and where's the replacement?
Well, that's it, right? Because they've not replaced before Mahrez. They didn't replace Sterling's goals, but that was okay because Haaland came in that season, because Haaland then blitzed the league, so those goals were replaced. But then you get rid of Mahrez, you replace him with Doku. It's like Doku's not a free scoring forward player. Do you know what I mean? It's like Martin, Manchester United fans, Man City fans said it perfectly. He said they bought squad players, not first team players. I'm abbreviating what he's saying. They've essentially bought more squad players than actual first team players to begin with.
And the whole Haaland thing is subjective anyway. It depends what you like as a striker. I particularly
goals.
I like goals.
Yeah, that one. Yeah.
If they get me 20 goals, but they also can get me like 10 or so assists. So if they're not always scoring, they're very active in games and contributing to the team as well. So,
but then Jamie, it depends. I think it
Haaland's
depends.
got
Like
four
that
goals,
treble season, you wouldn't care what assist
No,
Haaland got.
and that
You had a Mahrez. You had a Mahrez and someone else banging in goals as well. It's
fine. So I say it's subject. I mean, Haaland's a tremendous finisher. No one's going to take that away from him. He's elite level.
If he gets injured and out for like 2 or 3 months, we're talking about sitting in a top 4 race. That's what we're talking about. Do you know what I mean? Without him, that's only because he's in there that people are given the slimmest of they're still in a title race. Do you know what I mean? At this moment in time. 6:30 p.m. Sunday, they'll probably be out of the title race. But that's the whole thing. That he's the only one, even with his.
Are we saying that if they lose, that they're definitely out of the title race, right? Or is it too early? Because that's 11 points if they lose to Liverpool. I think
11 points with this City squad is not the same City squad. I know if this was the City squad of the team a few years ago, 11 points are probably still in it. But with this squad right now, no, not 11-point gap's too much.
Even last season, when they went away to the Club World Cup, and there were only a few, they were single digit, I think 5 points behind when they came back or something like that. And
this team is not capable of going on winning.
Not capable at this moment in time. You have no Rodri, like I say, you have no midfield, you have no help for Haaland. I mean, look, Jamie, the whole game plan is you keep Haaland quiet. What's he going to do?
Yeah, and
that's all it is. That's all it is.
Changed his philosophy then, because when he came to City, he didn't want Aguero because all he was a goal scorer.
Right.
And he wanted Gabriel Jesus to be the main striker because he wanted the striker to be more active in games, that could drop deep and link play, can, be more versatile. And then Aguero was like, oh, hang on. You just give me a second. I'll be everything you want me to be, and I'll be one of the greats. Right. And he changed his mind. And then he's gone with Haaland, who is just an elite level goal scorer. I say just, but that is what he is. He's an elite level goal scorer. The rest of his game is not at that standard. So
it's one dimensional.
Yeah. Has Pep got to take a lot of blame for what's going on right now?
I think Pep's got to take a lot more blame than people are blaming him for. I think what he's done, I think so far, I think it's been pretty poor because I haven't seen him change it up. We've basically gone 6 games winless, 5 losses. Like, change it up. Put Rico Lewis at right back instead of Walker. Put John Stones in midfield. Try and get some legs in there. Try and balance it out. Because Gundogan and Kovacic and these Bernardo just get walks past. Try and get the best out of Foden. Try and give Haaland some help. I haven't seen anything from it. I've just keep seeing the same stuff. And it's just not working. And if he does the same stuff at Anfield, I'll be shocked, if I'm honest with you. I really would. I'll be
it's really weird because he tried to do the same thing when he bought Ibrahimovic at Barcelona. Do you remember? Tried to play with that striker up front, and it failed. It just failed because halfway through the season, he just went. He just apparently Ibrahimovic says, "Oh, he was just told to get the ball to Messi," which is a great thing. But then if you look at their recruitment after that, they get like a striker like a David Villa who could play wide, and Alexis Sanchez who can play wide and stuff like that. He's not even the only thing that really probably goes against that is probably did have Lewandowski for those 2 years, but Lewandowski's a more talented player than Haaland. Do you know what I mean? In terms of
he's not just a finisher.
That's what I mean. So, but
let me ask this question to the panel. Right, I don't mind who answers. Who's more of a threat to Liverpool right now, City still or Arsenal?
Arsenal.
You all agree with that? You think that's quite an easy question?
Arsenal got a better 11 than City right now as well.
Because it's interesting because I never write off City. I never write off Pep. I will the weekend. If the weekend you beat them, I'm writing them off. They ain't winning a title. Like, let's just have it right. I think Liverpool might, it depending on what happens to Arsenal. If Arsenal lose, I think Liverpool win the league, if I'm honest, if they win at the weekend. However, I still think you will, even if we win. But I think that Arsenal, with the squad that we've got, as long as we keep the injuries away from it also depends what happens with Liverpool injury-wise. But I honestly do believe that we are a bigger threat than Manchester City as things are right now. And I know that some people might not want to just 100% say that, but I kind of feel that we are. And it's mad because winning cures all in football, right? We were terrible a few weeks ago. Now all of a sudden Arsenal are back and all this stuff again. Where we are back. We're back playing well. Doesn't mean we're back to win the league. I'd love to see us win the league, but I still fancy Liverpool. I don't know about you, Hooks, but I feel like this weekend could be a really nice Sunday if one thing happens, and that's Arsenal win on Saturday.
Yeah.
Arsenal cannot lose this game, man, because it's West Ham. They're poor. I know they've just beaten Newcastle. It's Lopetegui. I can't let Lawless be laughing at me, so it has to be 3 points for Arsenal, man. What are you saying, Hooks?
every game we go into now has to be 3 points, and I mean this game is it's no different. Like if we, do you know what? Yeah, if we go and lose or draw, okay, I don't even think a draw helps. If we drop points,
you have to win. Yeah,
then Liverpool are going to be walking into that Man City game with the most confidence that we ever would have seen Liverpool. Them players are going to be like, look, if we just beat City, that's the title ours. They'll be 12 points ahead of us, 11 points
12,
ahead of City. That's title done. It doesn't even matter. It doesn't even really matter what Chelsea does. Like, no disrespect. I can see Chelsea having a good season. I can't see them challenging this Liverpool for the Premier League. So even if Chelsea win their game, I don't think it matters. Like Liverpool are only looking at Man City and Arsenal, right? And I'll be honest, I don't even know if they're even looking at Man City. They're probably thinking like, right,
keep looking at other clubs, Liverpool fans. Keep looking at other clubs. We'll just creep up there. Do you know what I mean? We'll just keep around. And suddenly it gets to April. How'd you get here?
Man, they probably look at City right now. Is like, you know, sometimes you're driving and you see the fox has just been run over on the road. Like that's probably what they're looking at. Man City.
No, it's Hooks. It's the old Jason Voorhees films. You know, you've got to actually kill the guy to make sure he's like gone. Do you know what I mean? That's City at the moment. No, don't go, oh, I think everything's all right. Because City will just like pop up like that, and, you know, and just drag them back. That's what it is. Make sure if City are done, make sure you put the nail in their coffin. Literally.
So as an Arsenal fan, I can't figure out what the best result is.
I think it's a draw.
You want a draw.
I think it's a draw. Man City winning would still be fine. The worst result for us is if Liverpool win. We just need Liverpool to just lose or drop points now. Like, it's getting silly. So that's what we need. So the worst result for us is Liverpool winning. If we drop points and Liverpool win, it's don. I honestly believe the title's done. And I never thought I'd say that in November, but I think it is, because you just can't do that. But I think we will beat West Ham. I think Liverpool will win, and then I think City are out of it. That's what I
win as well. I've got Liverpool down to win. Well, I've got Liverpool down to win, and I need Man City to win. I think that I need Man City to win because I can see Man City dropping points.
They got Forest in there. They got Forest the midweek game. City after Liverpool.
Midweek.
No, it's home.
Midweek.
The way that Arsenal can win this. The way that Arsenal can win this league is if Man City and Arsenal take points off of Liverpool in the remaining games. Then it doesn't actually matter what happens in the other games. As long as Man City and Arsenal take points off of Liverpool in the remaining games, then because look, if Arsenal beat them at Anfield, I know that's a crazy thing to say, but let's just say it happens. That's 3 points that we've gained on Liverpool. If Man City beat them home and away, again, crazy statement, but if they do it, then and we win on both game weeks that happens, we've closed the 9-point gap.
So here's what everyone needs to happen is sort of a Liverpool performance against Southampton. I know they won, but they need that type of when they're not fully at it. Because I don't think some of the Liverpool players were fully at it. I don't think Canate was fully at it at the weekend. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You just need. And also, let's face it. I know Liverpool won, but that Southampton goalkeeper, good lord, they want to invest. They want to investigate David Coote. Investigate that goalkeeper right there for his performance.
He come in and run out the way.
Good lord! Hey, someone check if he's put bets on Paqueta Island or something at the weekend. That this Southampton goalkeeper, man, this guy was honestly good lord.
Usually, when McCarthy plays against Liverpool, he's always man of the match in Liverpool games. Do you know? That was the first time. I'm looking.
It's Christmas bonus.
Yeah, it's Christmas bonus. I'm looking at the midweek fixtures this week because we all play at the same time, don't we? And Arsenal got Man United at home. Liverpool away to Newcastle. I'm going on the assumption that if we beat City, after that, Liverpool and Arsenal got pretty favourable fixtures where you feel like they should win a lot of them games up to New Year. And then I believe the start of January, Arsenal have got Brighton, Spurs, and a Villa in them 3 games. So, yeah, I think
I think
This-
City have got Villa I think City got Villa at 12:30 in a couple of weeks.
Yeah,
Before
so
Christmas,
this
so-
midweek,
yeah.
these midweek fixtures could tell a lot how this season goes, in my opinion. Pretty
We
good.
would put Man United in a split, man. Man United, easy. Yeah, Staffy, what you saying, man? What you saying? You ready for the Emirates? ready? Are you
I
ready for
can't
the-
wait for
2
those
games
combined
before I
11s.
play you. I have
Are
2
you ready
games
for the-
before I play you. I'm not
I know you
worried
do,
about
but I'm just asking, are you ready? Are you ready for the
it.
Emirates?
So my manager spanked you once, he can spank you again, but I'm not worried about it right now.
Oh,
If
well,
Man
I-
United win that game and Liverpool win their next 2 games, then big up United.
They might draw.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. Arsenal have to win with the points gap.
Yes, they have to
They,
keep
they
pace.
have to win games.
Arsenal must, man. Arsenal
Yeah.
must. I tell you, we must. But look, man, I've got to come to a close. But I wanted to ask Staffy and Andrew one last question. Obviously, we haven't touched on United and Chelsea, so I want to ask this question to you, Winter Surfer. Do you think you can get yourself in this title race? Because the way things are at the moment, this table's mad. And Staffy, I've got to be real. I watched you against Ipswich. I thought it was awful from the players. I'm not going to sit there and start pointing fingers at Amorim because I think he will get it right. I think he's a quality manager, but I think you need to invest because I don't rate your squad, man. And Terry was saying it's quite close to Chelsea's. I personally disagreed with him. I think it is quite poor in quite a lot of areas, man. So they're the last 2 questions I've got, man. Surfer, I'll let you go first, man. Go on.
Well, I'm not going to talk about title race because I talk about because it's fun because it winds up people like opposition fans and stuff like that. Just winds them. So I won't talk about it. But what I do expect up until Christmas is near enough maximum points from these fixtures because we've gone through now our tough fixtures on paper. Like Villa's at the weekend. I know they beat us the last 2 times at home, but I expect to beat Villa because Villa after Champions League games, they just do not, I don't know what it is, but they just don't react well. We've got them at home. Then we've got Southampton midweek. I expect to beat them. Then we've got Spurs. I always expect to beat Spurs. I don't care where I am in the league. I just always expect to beat Spurs because I know Arsenal, we probably own Spurs more than Arsenal over the last like 30 years. We just simply, no matter what they do, we simply own them or stop them doing what they need to do. So I expect us to get maximum points. So title race talks not happening with me. I'd only be talking about the title, Dan, if we were 10 points clear with 3 games left. That's when you hear me talk about the title.
Yeah.
So that's the only time you're going to ever hear me talk about the title race, when it's like mathematically not something. But we're progressing well. We just what I'll say to you, Dan, get me a proper goalkeeper and I'll be fine. Get me a proper goalkeeper. And
You can
I'll
leave Kelleher alone. That's what I'm going to say.
He's better than all our 87 goalkeepers. That's what he is.
Yeah, you need a top class goalkeeper, that's for sure. Staffy, what are you telling me, my bro?
What was the question exactly?
Well, look, I just personally feel like the squad is looked at differently by some United fans. I'm not really a fan of a lot of your players. I don't think you've got enough goals in it. I don't look at anybody up there. I mean, you've spent £100 million and now you're putting Rashford up front. Xerxes doesn't look good enough. Haaland, I'm not a fan of. Rashford, I've never been a fan of. I think he's overrated. Garnacho looks like a promising youngster, but is he really as great as what some of your fans hype up, or is he another Januzaj? I look at what's going on in your midfield, and I think potentially there's something there that I think could work with Kobe Mainoo, Ugarte, and Fernandez, but I'm not sure it has. And defensively, this 3 at the back thing has now got to be implemented. So I don't know. Is your squad good enough for this Amorim to do well with you, or do you feel like you actually need a lot of work still in terms of player personnel?
But yeah, we do have a lot of work to do, and I'm very happy with some of the things that Amorim said, because a lot of the things that he says was my thought process and some of the things that I've been saying for a while. So usually we like to subscribe to people who have the same thoughts and ideas as us. So I'm very happy to see that I'm at least aligned with this manager, because the manager before him, I couldn't stand him. Everything he said, I didn't believe in it. Now, in terms of the squad not being good enough, I will be honest. I did think the squad was better than what it showed last year, but maybe last game was a little bit more of a reality check to me personally, because I rated the squad a little bit higher. I didn't rate it high, I rated higher. So I was kind of disappointed to see some of the performances against Ipswich. I didn't think we were going to have a good game. I was hoping that we leave with 3 points that I expected to be difficult. The game was difficult, but we left with a point instead of 3. So I wasn't really as surprised. I feel like there was a big overreaction on the game. I didn't think that Emery was going to come in and in less than a week. He worked with some of these players for only 3 days. There's no way in 3 days you're going to take a squad that's been underperforming anyways and implement a new style and get them to perform it in just a 3-day matter. And to your point about Rashford starting and all that, it was mainly because Emery said he's going to start this starting 11 is going to be mainly the players that he got to work with the most during the international break. So most of these players, including Rashford, didn't go on international duties, which is why they started. But yeah, the squad needs a lot of work, and Emery did say it. He said it's what did he say? I forgot his exact quote, but oh yeah, he said we're gonna have to suffer first before it gets better, and I agree with him because sometimes to take that next step, you need to take a step backwards, and the step backwards could be yes, now we have to play football that we want to win with in the next 2-3 years versus trying to just stitch up something to get the 3 points today, but it's not going to lead us anywhere in the future. And he said that perfectly. He said I could have approached the game today in a way where like we'll just try to win the game, but I won't try to implement my ideas. But he was like, but I promise you, in a year we'll find ourselves in the same situation again, which is exactly what Ten Hag did. So I'm very happy to hear that he doesn't want to cover over the cracks. You know how we say paper over the cracks? I don't want a manager to try to cover over the cracks like Ten Hag did, and then I find myself in the same situation a year from now. Our front line is diabolical. I agree with you. I think it's the worst thing about our team. Like when you look at it, that front line, 2 of these players there was 100 million invested in both of them, Xerxes and Haaland, and you don't see it. It's exactly like it's absolutely embarrassing that you invested 100 million in strikers and we still need to sign a striker, and you still need to bring Rashford back to form, and you still need to get Ahmad to take that, because I think he's our most talented player, to take that next step and become more of a goal scorer. And people will, you mentioned Garnacho, you said Januzaj. Don't disrespect Januzaj because Januzaj actually had technical ability. There's nothing about Garnacho that I see where I'm like, yeah, he has a future at United. And the fact that people think he's our best attacker is literally the issue why we are bad. If you think when Garnacho is your best attacker on a team, you are not a good team. It is just plain and simple, you know? So there's a lot of work to do. I don't expect it all to work right away. He's going to have to chop and change a lot. In his first game, he did a lot of experimenting, and I respect him for that because he experimented a lot and he still didn't lose the game. And he did a lot of experimenting with the 11 and with the changes. And that's what a new manager is supposed to do. He was not afforded time in what's it called, in the summer, or he was signed mid-season. So they didn't have a preseason to do any of these things, you know? So that definitely would have helped him. But he has to work a lot with these players. And he said it. He has to change a lot. He has to try a lot. And he said, by the way, he made a very good point. He said, the more games we play, the worse it is for us. He's like, because I need time with them on the training pitch. So it actually doesn't help when we have a game every 2-3 days. You know, so I'll be very patient with him. I'm very aware of where we are. You know, we'll do that little banter shit where, like, yeah, rivals talk shit. If I get one on you guys and I beat you next Wednesday, I'm gonna be like, haha, we're better than you. But in reality, I know where we are. I know that we're not a very good team right now. I know we're nowhere near where we want to be. But I believe in this manager. I like the things that he's saying. I like his track record. And I have to trust in him. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to give him all the time. And I'm going to just analyze everything he's doing this season. And he's proven to go into a lesser team, which he admitted, with lesser quality in Sporting Lisbon. And in 4 years, he made him a winning side. You know? So I'll hope that in the next 3-4 years, he'll be able to do the same thing here. You know, because at least here he'll have more money and more investment and better infrastructure. So we'll see. You know,
we'll see, man. And I think you trust the manager. I think he's a good manager, and I think that with the new structure in place, yeah, it's going to take time, but I think you will eventually get yourself back up there, man. Look, we've overrun. I've got to go out now and I'm going to be late. So big up to every single one of you guys. Staffy, thank you so much for jumping on, man. I know it's a busy day for you. So big up to you, mate. Big up to Winter Surfer. Make sure you go follow both of these guys, Staffy TV and Winter Surfer on all socials and, of course, YouTube. Make sure you go over to Halftime Hooks as well. Show him some love. Make sure you also go over to Jamie Phillips Talks Football and go and chat with him as well.
I'm live in 2 hours for the game if you guys want to join me. So shout out to the chat.
Make sure you do that, man. Staffy TV, make sure you go follow him, and he'll either be crying or be happy. Let's see what Man United do. Big up to all you guys, man. Love for everybody in the chat. Love for all your comments and interactions. I'm back later tonight around about 7 o'clock. So I'll see you in a few hours. And until then, take it easy. We'll see you next time. Big up.